Alright, so today we're talking about the 3 tips for lifting heavy that I wish I had known back when I started lifting. I would have built so much more muscle, so much more easily. But the first thing is that you need to be scared before you hit your sets. Now, this might sound a little strange, but if you're not nervous before you hit your set, you're doing something wrong. You're either not lifting heavy enough or you're not doing the right exercises, which we'll get into in a second, but you need to be scared before you hit your sets during your workout, especially on the heavy stuff, okay? And the heavy stuff should be the focus of your workouts. When I go to hit a set of bench press, when I'm benching 190, when I'm squatting, I'm terrified. When I go to do weighted pull-ups, I'm shaking, right? Like it's a scary thing because when you're doing a heavy compound exercise, you're doing the evolutionary equivalent of like fighting a bear or some shit, okay? So your body is gonna tell you, no, we don't wanna do this. It's scared of intensity, right? So if you're scared, that means you're training with intensity, which is what you need. So you have to use your fear as a sign that you're training hard enough. Now, if you're doing some light, dumbbells or machine or cable, whatever, you're not going to be scared. You're not going to be scared. I am excited to do the easy isolation exercises, right? And that's not a good sign. That means those are not building the most possible muscle. The heavy compounds where you are terrified are the things that are going to build muscle, okay? Because it's intensity. It's intensity, okay? So remember, you should always be scared, or most of the time you should be scared before hitting your heavy sets. So that's most of your workout. You're apprehensive about hitting your next set. Second tip, you need to pick the right exercises. Okay, if you pick the wrong exercise in the gym, you're cooked. If you pick, the light cable, whatever, or the easy dumbbell stuff, you're not going to build muscle. And so many people pick the wrong exercises. They pick the machines over the free weights. It's terrible, okay? You need compounds for each muscle group that you want to grow. You need the right compound exercises. For chest, I would advise doing flat bench, incline bench with a barbell, okay? You can load up a lot of weight. You want to pick the exercise where you can load up a lot of weight and that recruit a lot of muscle groups, okay? You don't want to be picking, the single muscle group exercises like the chest flies, all of that. You need the bench press, all right, the incline bench press for chest. For your back, you need weighted pull-ups. You need heavy barbell rows, okay? Those are the compounds. Those use your core, your whole back, everything, okay? For arms, you need weighted dips, okay? That uses your triceps like crazy, some of your chest. It's a huge compound. You can load it up so heavy. I do like 55 pounds on weighted dips. For legs, this is the biggest compound group of all. You need squats, heavy squats, and I would advise free weight barbell squats because they use your core. They're not isolating shit like on leg extensions. Leg extensions are not going to be as effective as heavy squats, right? Choose heavy squats for legs, choose RDLs for legs. So if you choose those exercises and you do them at the beginning of your workout, so if you do a push-pull leg split, you're starting each day with a heavy compound exercise with those exercises that you've picked for each muscle group. And you'll build muscle, I guarantee. You just have to pick the right exercises, okay? And you need to be scared before doing those exercises. Now the third tip is that you need a progressive overload, okay? If your bench isn't increasing, your chest isn't growing, all right? It's very simple, but if I had known this, 6 months ago, I would have saved myself a lot of headache, and I would have built a lot more muscle because I was stuck at benching like 155 for months. But the thing is, if you're not adding weight to your bench, if you're not adding reps, 1 rep every workout, and then adding weight after a certain number of workouts, then your chest is just not growing. Your chest is not going to grow. It's all about progressive overload. And if your progressive overload stalls, you're doing something wrong. So if you can't add 1 rep to each of your lifts every workout, you made a mistake. You either, didn't train hard enough the last time you hit that exercise, or you didn't sleep well enough, or you didn't eat enough carbs, whatever. You need to up the weight over time, and you do that by slowly adding reps every workout. That's progressive overload. That's how you lift heavy effectively, okay? You need to make sure you're scared before hitting your heavy sets. You need to pick the right exercises for each muscle group. And you need to add weight and use progressive overload over time, okay? If you can do those 3 things, follow those 3 tips, the muscle will it'll just appear. Like, you'll just build a muscle so easily. Of course, it's not going to be easy because you're going to be doing hard sets. But it'll be very, very simple, very straightforward. If your strength goes up, your muscle will also go up, okay? It's very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just follow those 3 tips. Thanks for watching.